So if you are tired of chasing YouTube videos at the same time, trying to learn kvCORE, a very powerful CRM system, and what to do and all about the system and how it works also from a real estate experienced person and a CRM strategist, then I want to invite you to listen to this entire presentation, which is not that long, and understand what it is that you can do with kvCORE, how you want to use a proven system like a CRM system, and how this can impact your business. So again, I invite you to stay through this entire journey with me in this video. And if you have any questions, I want to go ahead and just share with you now. You can add the comments down below, and you can also join my free live masterclass to get more information or one of the events that I host on a regular basis. Okay, so in this presentation, I'm going to walk us through quite a few things that are important, from how to use the CRM, how kvCORE can impact your business, and how to start putting all the components together. All right. So again, if you want to make sure to master your database where you have the opportunity to earn your millions, I want to invite you to stay with me on this journey so that we can cover it all. All right, let's get started. I'm Kim Barber with Kim Barber Coaching, and I want to invite you to go on this journey with me in this video, where I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to harness the power of the CRM, all the different components that are important, but not just like what is this and what is that. It's how it can impact your business, what is its purpose, and some of the key features, so that you can really start to put the map of everything together. As well, if you haven't already, I want to invite you to a couple things. I have a free live masterclass. The links are, depending on where you're watching this, the links are in the bio or in the description below. As well, I have some events that I host every month, every couple months, and you can find links to that as well. You can find all of it on kimbarber.com. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So master your database, make your millions, generating converting leads with strategy, purpose, and kvCORE. So I know that you can already see this on the screen, but what I want to make sure that we talk about is that this is a slightly different approach than most people talk about because of the keywords here, strategy and purpose. And also, for a quick little disclaimer, this is going to offer you the opportunity to earn your millions, to add millions. So can I guarantee that you're going to make millions? No, because it depends on how hard we work at it, how hard we implement it, and things such as that. But this is the opportunity that I want to make sure that every agent is aware that these proven systems and strategies are critical if we're going to excel to the next level. So what do I mean by this? Let's go ahead right now and say, can this change your life? So let's think about this. If you have 1,200 people in your database, this can be you're just starting out, you're 50, you're 100, you're thousands of people, right? I'm going to use this as an example. One of the things that we want to do with strategy and purpose is we want to increase how much money we're making off of the leads that we have, right? Does that make sense? And so in here, what I want for us to notice is that if we go from 1% to 3%, look at the increase there. It's like over 300,000. So if we go all the way to 5%, then look at the difference. Now we're talking over 600,000, and you can see that 10% over 1,200 people is over $1 million. And if you think this isn't true, and this is not necessarily a real opportunity, then I can share with you that I've been to conferences, I've talked to other top producers who have like 3,000 people in their database, and they're closing 300 sales a year. That's a 10% return. I've also talked to people that have 20,000 people in their database, and they're making 0.04%, 0.004%. And that's like leaving so much money on the table. If we could get them just the 3%, that would be more in the $9 million range. So this is very real. Okay. So would this change your life? I hope that you say it does. Okay, so just a little bit about myself. I want to kind of jump in that over the years of my career since 2004, I've done a lot of different lead sources, you can see there. And at points, I was generating a lot of leads per month. This is an excerpt from my listing presentation that you can see was over 190 leads a month. I've done tons of systems. So I've been where most of the agents are who've been in the business as long as I have. We're getting in there where there's a lot of systems that you've used, a lot of things that we've gone through in our journeys that have helped us manage our leads. And in my journey, what I realized is that there was no blueprint, there was no framework to increase our success. So I built one. And when I built that, then I went from 5% to 13% working my sphere in 1 year alone. If we compound this by 4 years, that adds up to pretty much $1 million, right? So the whole idea of this is when we increase our return on investment, we start to work smarter, not harder, which gives us more time, which gives us more money, gives us more sanity and more strategy and direction. So why am I talking about kvCORE? So how was I able to go from 5% to 13%? There's a lot of different components to that. And one of them has to do with kvCORE being a powerful all-in-one solution, which means we get the website, we get the lead generation opportunities, we get the lead follow-up and the lead conversion, we can do automation. And so that is also going to help us with our customer journey if they find us on the website, if we're running an ad. And the whole purpose of the CRM is to manage the journey, the customer relationship management. And so that's what the CRM does, the website to the lead generation coming into the back end and giving the automation. Then basically that allows us to manage the journey and have our brand stand out in front of them with tools that they have that I'll go through in our presentation today. So the thing about this is though, that when we have the website, we have the lead generation, we have all of these things, me just talking about it this way, maybe it already feels overwhelming, right? So that's the thing about these powerful systems is it can feel complicated, it can feel very overwhelming, but it has a lot to offer. And when we as real estate agents don't have to worry about putting them all together. So in the past, when I would have Real Geeks, or I would have Boomtown when it was newer, right? Or I would build Infusionsoft, or I would have custom websites like probably a lot of you have, then we have to integrate that to a back end. We have to do separate lead generation, and then it becomes difficult because we have to hire people, et cetera, to put them all together. Well, with kvCORE, we don't have to do that. So it's very powerful. Is it perfect? No. Are there lots of choices out there? Yes. But what I like about it is it's all in one and it gives us the opportunity to put it all together. So the lead generation, the first things that we need to do as real estate agents and as an entrepreneur, what I like to call a boss owner, is we have to work on our business. We decided that we're putting in kvCORE, right? That's our business decision. Then we have to work on marketing and lead generation. So with lead generation with kvCORE, we have lots of opportunities to do them lots of different ways. So we can do them with properties, with searches, right? They can go on our website, we can see this, that's obvious, but we can put this on social media, we can put this on website. In fact, I put searches on my Google business page as a product, which is awesome. We also can do open houses and they have apps for that. So we can do leads there and put them into our lead follow-up system. We can have them imported. Maybe you've already imported your leads from other CRM systems, or you have it connected from some of your other lead generation machines, and they can integrate right into our kvCORE. Okay, that's the other thing is something more simple is we can import them from Excel. So maybe you have your list of your sphere, your mailing list, you've exported your Facebooks, all of these things. And then of course they can be manually added. Why is this all lead generation? Manually adding, is that lead generation? Yes, because we're actually going in and we met somebody. So we've generated the leads and then we can put it in there into kvCORE. Okay, and that's the thing is like API, that application interface, it's basically integrating two softwares together so that they can then get leads from here and put them straight into your kvCORE. This is actually something in the marketplace called API Nation. So for example, we have our constant contact integrated using API into kvCORE, so the lists stay the same. Is that lead generation? Yeah, because it's part of branding, it's part of bringing in those other leads. Zapier is the same thing. They're like, what's a Zap? What's Zapier? It means that I'm going to zap something from another place into kvCORE and vice versa. Okay, so within the lead generation machine, you can see it in here, that's on the left-hand side. And depending on when you're looking at this, you know, they've been changing the interfaces just in 2004. So this is the classic interface. This is a picture of it in 2004. Okay, when we log into the kvCORE lead engine, first of all, it's nice that there is a lead engine. So if you've been using kvCORE for a while, you probably already know this, but I'm gonna go ahead and break down this because even if you've been using it for a while, there's probably things that we want to have some aha moments. And if you're new to this, there are the different components between marketing and lead engine that we will go through here today. So this is basically the focus of getting leads in that are free. Okay, so we have landing pages, we have squeeze pages, we can do the call and the text capture like it says there, and we can do property boosts, which is not free, but there are things in there that are free. You can drop leads in there. That's the lead drop box, and up in the corner. Okay, so the whole point of this is to remember that these are free opportunities and free things that you can do to enhance the things that people want. People want to get property searches, and people want to get specific information, which is what the landing pages and squeeze pages are designed to do. Okay, so with the squeeze page, it basically means that you're going to squeeze information down so that you can give your ideal client exactly what they want. And then you can see that in this particular example, this is an image of my website where you can see that the information is squeezed down on a particular school zone. And I'm using this image because it is representative of a school zone, right? There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but it's squeezing the information because it's a targeted niche of somebody that's looking for something high value, like a high school zone, right? So that's very important. It converts higher because when somebody comes there, when they come to our website, we want to give them something of value. And so that they in turn will give us their information, their name, their email, and even their phone number, right? So in here, it gives us the opportunity. You come in here, you can narrow down your content, focus on your niche, you get a link, you can put it on your website, you can put it in social media, you can put it on your Google Business like I have done, you can put it in lots of different places. That helps us attract people and convert higher. That being said, you can take the same thing with the squeeze pages and put it into a Facebook post. And I do have another YouTube video that you can see up in the corner that you can also click on that, as well as in the description and at the end of this video, so you can learn how to run ads. So inside of here, you can take the squeeze page and then move it, like I mentioned, into a social media platform where you can post it on your business page. Then you can have it out there where it's running for free. You can share it out there, or you can even put it out there and run some ads on it. The great thing about this is it's when we do targeted content and we're attracting our niche, it has a higher conversion rate. So kvCORE is giving us the ability to focus on our niche, and that's one of the strategies that's super important. Okay, so then from there we have the landing page. And the landing page, like it says here, is kind of a prettier version. When somebody lands on the page, they're basically on the back side of that page, it's squeezed down to whatever content it is that you have given and put up. So in the last example, I would say, okay, I'm going to make a landing page, and on the back end of it, they're going to get that school zone of information. There's a lot of different landing pages you can do. I'm using that one as an example so that when they land there, it might say property or homes for sale in Riverside High School. It has the picture there, and then it says for weekly emails, to get updates on distressed properties, to get a weekly email about homes over $1 million, click here, and then, et cetera. Then they'll get the email, and that is a fancier version of the squeeze page. Or you can even do that with a video. You can have it where they see a video. You can play the video, click here to get this information. That is a landing page. This is an example. This is also very high conversion. So on the back end of this, it has the squeezed down information of homes for sale in a specific region. That also says like hot buys, drastic price reductions, you can get fixer-uppers. People don't necessarily know that that's going to always come in there all the time, but you could also change it so that it's only distressed properties, it's only price reductions, or it's only luxury homes. So you can make this landing pages, but know that it's a prettier version of the squeeze page in this example, but you could do other things in squeeze pages and landing pages, or for example, you could do other things in landing pages that are videos and other kind of assets. This is the example to give you an idea. Okay, so then what happens, again, kvCORE offers us the opportunity to say, all right, I'm going to pick a landing page. Now I do have the team platform, so you might not have this little drop down that is in the landing page box that says kimbarbergroup.com. If you are using a company level, an office level, or a team level, you can pick which domain and where you want this to be sitting, where you want it to run. If you are a solo agent with your solo platform, then this won't pop up because you have one choice, and that's fine too. So you'll see though that basically the whole idea is that a landing page is on the front end. It's highly targeted niche, so that's intended to be a higher conversion. Then with the landing page, in contrast to the squeeze page, The landing page then allows us also to kick off some automation. We can also add some tags to it. For kvCORE, they like to call it hashtags, which a lot of people equate hashtags, of course, to social media platforms. It's the same thing, no matter what, they just put a hash in front of it. So you can put your tag there, and then if you have the automation set up to kick off by the tag or what have you, you can all control that on the landing pages, which is very helpful. You can change the way it looks, etc. But the point is that it's designed to be a niche, give you some opportunities, which is great for lead generation. So then going from the lead generation tool, we can move down in the black box to the marketplace. So the marketplace has some overlap because in the lead engine, it also had the property boost. So in the marketplace, it also has the property boost. But in the marketplace, there's a lot more opportunity. And some of these are more on the paid side. So, when you go in here, you're going to notice a lot more options. And so at this point, though, most people are like, oh my gosh, Kim, I get it. I just want it to work. Or, oh my gosh, Kim, like I'm already overwhelmed. Stay with me on this journey, because this is also like where I pause and say, listen, I know that we just want it to work, but we have to know all of these things, because if we don't, as a business owner, if we want to hire out and there's these devilish details about why this works and why this doesn't, then we are not necessarily doing our job as a business owner to harness the power and use one of the most powerful things that we have to do to have lead conversion, which is use our CRM properly. Okay, so stay with me here. We're going to go in here. So I want to just say, okay, we know lead generation. Now we've got leads coming in here. Now, the more leads that we have, the harder it is to keep track of them, right? So we're generating leads, like now what? We need to make sure that we realize that if we have the automation and lead management done right, we will start to have that time and money and get towards the higher ROI. So we can be busy generating squeeze pages and generating leads. We also need to make sure we have a strategy on what we do with them next. Okay, so very, very important, which is why I stop here and make sure that we know that we have to start putting these things all together, which is why I start to say master your database, earn your extra millions. I need to put in my income disclosure that it's really up to you about how much you want to make. Is the CRM all by itself going to make you millions? No. It gives us the opportunity to stay in front of our brand, generate our leads, stand out in the crowd, have the opportunity to do it at our fingertips, have the opportunity to make lead generation easier with squeeze pages that are highly targeted to our avatar. And that is the most important thing on the front end. Then we have to get into the conversion, right? And so now that we have the leads, we're starting to get them in. There's a lot of things that we have to do that, again, kvCORE allows us to do. Now, in fact, most successful CRMs, we need to do this exactly thing. And some of them will let you have more tools than other tools. Okay, when we started out, some of the things were very primitive. Agent Office, Top Producer, if you're coming from one of those, if you were just using Excel sheets, if you were using your phone, like there's a lot of people that are coming in here from a lot of different ways, and you're just starting out, or you've been using this for a while and need to start putting the components together. This is what we need to do. We obviously have to stand out in the crowd and keep in touch with them. And how do we do that and provide that value? I'm going to start talking about again. And I believe that it's extremely important in my frameworks that we track their timing, because we have to keep track of people all the time, right? Somebody's moving in 6 months, somebody's moving in a year, somebody's moving in 3 years, somebody that we just met last night at dinner that wants to sell in 8 months or wants you to call with them next week. It's really hard to do that. And this is one of the things that we have to do as a business owner, as a real estate, to have the higher conversion, is keep track of these and stay in front of them and expose our brand, right? And so in coupling with that, we have to do this about 8 different times so that we can start having them know us and possibly convert. And this is very important for us to pay attention to, right? So I've kind of shifted from the components and the tactical part and the features of kvCORE now over into the strategy and thinking about what we do as a real estate agent and the time that it takes to convert, and the CRM and the customer relationship management. Then basically it's a matter of keeping track of them over time. We know that we need to keep track of them over time. We know statistically that we have to at least reach out to them. People, as much as we want to send texts and avoid the phone call. People need that human touch. It gives us also the opportunity, human touch with our mouth. It gives us the opportunity for us to expose our expertise, create a relationship, show passion in our voice, and stand out in the crowd that way. And we have to do this over time. Okay, so we do know then that the money is in the conversion. So how are we going to stand out in the crowd? That's where we need to start using the tools that kvCORE has, the neighborhood updates, which is also, of course, called the market reports. And those market reports are very important because, let's face it, everybody wants to see when they drive down the road, they want to see, hey, how much is that house listed for? What does their house look like on the inside? What can I do to improve my house? That's what people want to see. They also want to know how much my house is worth. And they want to also see maybe they're thinking about buying or they're thinking about moving. The property searches have to do with not only what people are buying, but paying attention to the broader spectrum of the houses that are going for sale, not just in their neighborhood, but wider than that. So the property searches allow for us to stay in front of them and set these things up so that we can give them what they want, which is really to buy and sell homes and understand about their investments. So the other thing about the conversion, which is really important, is that we have to make sure, again, that we call them, we text them. We can even send a video in the text for them. The email, we're sending these reports in the automation of these things that they want, as well as we can send emails to them maybe about our upcoming listing. Maybe it's a video about the market and an update from you. The other thing that's really awesome that kvCORE does, but any CRM, is that we have to have the automation that helps us in our day-to-day to keep track of these people, to stay in front of them. So the campaign automation is designed to send them information, as well that it is designed for us to stay in front of them and be like our workflow. And tags, hashtags help us label them so that we know who these people are, where they came from, what automation may or may not need to kick off from them, and things like that. Okay, so when we start putting all of these things together, like you'll see here on the side, you can see that a market report then will show up on the side that shows, in this case, it's Tavistock Farms, it's every 7 days. We want to decide how much frequency that is. That can be from a phone call. It's based on also do they need information more frequent now? Not. That's a little tactical, but the idea is that you can see on the right-hand side there when something is running or when it's not. But these are the kinds of things that should be set up for every single client if we have the right information so that we can stay top of mind. Okay, the other thing that's awesome with call automation is that we can sync it with Google. I think that that's a great thing, because then we want to make sure that when we do a new call, we can have the system call us on our own phone, right? So the system will call your phone number, or you'll have a smart number and it's going to call in. So mine says kvCORE smart number. That's really great, because some people are like, no, I want to use my personal phone, which is an option that you have. However, if you start to think about the compound effect over time, it's a much, much more professional, smart, and using our CRM system, if we can look back and use this feature and know, oh, I called them 75 days ago. Oh my gosh, I haven't called them until 6 months ago, or a year, or never, whatever it is. And the thing is that if we only ever use our phone, we're not going to be able to hone in on that exact information. Compounding over time is a really important thing, that we have that history. So this is a very awesome feature. Also, you can log the call. You can schedule a call like it shows here in this flow. And this really is the journey of us following up with them. Very, very important. The other thing with the also staying in touch with them and the features that kvCORE has is that we can send a text that's from here. The same thing I mentioned for the call log. We want to be able to use this with our system for a couple reasons. First of all, it creates a history like we talked about. It becomes faster. And then the other thing is it creates a boundary from people always getting your personal number. So they do make it very easy in this call and send text feature, which is really important. Okay, so now we know that we can call, we can text, we want to keep a history of it. They have branding tools so we can stand out in the crowd. We can have lead generation tools. So we have all of these things that we can start working the sales funnel, and that is what we want to do. So now we have leads coming in. We want to log in every single day. So this is the part of the daily routine that kvCORE does allow us to do. And again, if your CRM system isn't giving us to do, well, this is something that we need to do, is we need to see what are our leads doing, right? What is it that they are looking at? Are there texts coming in? Are they favoriting properties, so that we can respond to them, which it does let us have some easy features of email, call, and text right there when we see it. And so that we can keep that history like you see in the text back and forth. So there's a lot of things we want to do here that I mentioned kind of already. I touched in here about some of the do's and don'ts of the touches. So I believe very strongly that we want to use a smart number. We want to use the dialers, and we want to track. Why do you want to have your own smart number? So that you can be dialing from this number, and then you can have the history. You can just tell them, this is another one of my business numbers. You can put it on your sign, like all these great things. It creates boundaries, it creates history. And if you're going to move to making millions of dollars or earning hundreds of thousands of dollars more, you're likely going to end up getting an assistant. And so this allows us to have the history so that they can come up right behind us. The same with our buyer agent. And this is a pain point that has happened to me in the past, where that history wasn't there. And so buyer agents, they would come in and they didn't have the history. They didn't have the history of their own calls. They didn't have the history of when I was making a phone call. So this is a big lesson learned that before it didn't exist in the technology, and something that's definitely a very important thing to put into our behavior. So that being said, until they're a client, you'll see some very important things and some details that I have shared that are important from my experience that will help you along the way. So the other thing that's really important is that we want to leverage the notes and pin them to the top, right? So that's another feature. You can add a note in that top upper right-hand box there that does have, let me just show you again, this box right here where it says add a note. Do you see that in the left-hand side and the yellow icon? So I want to come in here and say that when you're calling them and talking to them, we want to make sure that we add the notes for the same exact reason that I just shared, so that you can know what it is that you said in the past. This is very important so that we don't have to remember it all, right? And you'll see also in there that it says sent text message and it's back and forth. This allows us then to basically also remember the history, and this allows us to both leverage, scale, and grow. So very important is that we track leads in every opportunity. We want to make sure that we use our checklist so that we know that, have I sent them the market report? Have I done these different things? Have I set up the profiles? And if you want to learn more about these things, I want to invite you to join one of my free masterclasses or come into one of my events so that we can see this in more details, where I share you more about the things that I've learned and how I'm helping thousands of other agents increase their success with my proven systems and strategies. So that being said, let's jump back in. We want to make it easy. That is the whole point of all of these different features. And it's also there to make it consistent. So you can text people regularly, you can call them regularly, and we don't overwhelm ourselves with trying to remember. So again, the magic there, this starts to take it to the next level when you start putting it in place. So this is some of the things that I'm like wanting to make sure that you see, like, what is kvCORE? What is the point of it? What is the whole point of CRM? And then how we start to stand out in the crowd, how we start to leverage this in a more fluent way. Of course, I can't show us all of this in a 30-minute video. Again, I invite you to come to some of my events. You can find them in the descriptions on my website there at the bottom of the screen, and then also in the bio, depending on where you're listening to this. Okay, so the automated campaigns, so the leads come in, then we kick off the campaigns. The whole point of the campaigns is for us to be able to drip valuable information and stay in touch with them so that we can convert the leads and then repeat the cycle so that we get repeat business, okay? So that's the goal of the automation. And for me and my blueprint, it's very important. My $1 Million Agent Blueprint is that we mirror experience, right? And then it keeps the framework and everything out of overwhelm. There are automations and campaigns in there that kvCORE has provided, which are great starting points because a lot of people have nothing. If you also want to learn how to get into my automations and my campaigns again, then you can go to our website, you can fill out the application, come to one of my events, and you can learn more about building them yourself, or getting even into our done-for-you opportunities. But that being said, this is a very important part, is the whole point is us to replicate ourselves, and it's our workflow to create the leverage. right? Then we start having inside the campaigns those calls, those emails and texts, which is what we have to do in our workflow, right? But we're putting it into the automated side, which is why I also say it comes from experience, and I invite you to come in and look more. But if you're building your own automations and your own workflow, just remember it's designed to replicate the timing of what we would be doing if it was manual. That's the whole point. So the other thing about this, what's make it great, is that we have the website front end, right? So we have the website, then they can come in with all the lead generation opportunities, the marketing opportunities, and then on the back end, we have the automation kicking off, and it's all in one place. Okay, so really, we have the traditional website, which they give you. I want us to move it into the sales funnel, right? The sales funnel is when we're starting to do the squeeze pages and the landing pages where people are coming into our website. You're providing value. So this is part of my blueprint, is we want to move into the funnels, which kvCORE does allow us to do. So we can actually start putting these things together. And like I said, it's kind of the path to organic growth, because when we start putting the lead generation out there, we start coming to our site, we have value to add for them, then Google starts to be like, oh my gosh, why are they continuing to give Kim their data? Why are they giving them your data? What is that? Their name, their phone number, their email? That is how Google starts to be like, hey, this website is really kind of good. And kvCORE allows us to do that. They allow us to do it with the front end, where we can start to add things that are our niches, custom pages. We can put our squeeze pages. We can build videos on it. We can do the blogs. We can make it look like right with our colors. We can do SEO, search engine optimization, which is really important for Google. There's all these things on the back end, but the first thing that we have to do is the front end, so that when they come there, they get the value and such like that, so that they give us their information and our list grows. So any CRM is a journey. This is not something that we're going to learn overnight, but mastering anything, what do they say? You become an expert when you do something for 5,000 hours. So becoming an expert and jumping in here is not necessarily the easiest, but I am here to help you grow. I have a blueprint that I share. You can see free tips and tricks by coming to my website. And I want to invite you also to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because these are all the different ways that I am helping agents like yourself increase your success. So again, if you have some questions or comments, go ahead and put those down below. Join us for one of my free events, or one of my events that we come here and we go through the blueprint in more detail, so that I can help you, like I'm helping a lot of other members of my academy, increase their success. All right, stay tuned for more videos. And meanwhile, go ahead and check out the next one, which will help you increase your leads with squeeze pages all the way through to posting it on Facebook. I'll see you next time.